Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Alex from TCG Discussions here, coming at you with a Dragon Ball Super Card Game ban list video that just dropped, I believe, either this morning or late last night. I don't know. Either way, I woke up and the ban list changed. So let's just dive right into it. The first card that was addressed on the ban list and banned is Master Roshi Kamehameha. So first starters, my thoughts on this: Rip Green. Like, I don't understand why they keep trying to address one of the worst colors in the format, but this wasn't it. The card that needed to be hit the most was Demigod Unison, because it's the most uninteractable unison in the game. You try to interact with it, you give your opponent advantage and help them awaken. Just doesn't seem like the way to go. And secondly, while Roshi Kamehameha was incredibly powerful, I don't think it was a ban-worthy card. I mean, it required energy, so they have to sacrifice a play to get a card back. That admittedly was oppressive, like Normal Potential, which I totally understand, but set 13's coming out with the King Vegeta counter card that will address it. So now King Vegeta addressing it is even stronger. Although I do understand it's like you're playing 8 copies of your Dormant versus playing 4. So kind of get it. Kind of think that green needed to be left alone. So, personal opinion, I think that there was another way to hit green that I think we all probably would have been more of a fan of, but I digress. Second card that was limited to 1, and this one is a big one that we need to talk about, is Son Goku, Hope of Universe 7. That hit is just not the way to go. So I guess they thought Victory Strike was too strong. I guess they were worried about how Goku's lineage was going to play it. I don't know what to tell you. This deck has won 1 event, and that win was questionable. That win was winnable for the Dark Brawly player that I'm aware of. I'm not sure if there are other events that I'm aware of outside of Europe that have won with that. I know Cell Surge has been explored, but Cell Surge seemed to be the most consistent and best leader to play it. It played it slower than the Victory Strike turn 2 that you could do on in the Scion deck, but I still think it's doable 1 on turn 2 in the new Goku lineage leader. And as for Cell Surge has tons of weaknesses to the deck. It's not that the deck isn't powerful, consistent, and good, although you could also argue that consistency is, while it's a strength, is also a weakness, because if they don't see Cell the Dark Parasite, the turn dies. Its curve dies pretty quickly. And there was just lots of ways to solve it. I think, one, putting in a best of 3 format makes it tougher. I think that, just your opponent going first, so you have to kind of win the die roll. There's lots of things that you could have done to the deck. And for some reason, they just chose to axe the deck in a way that I think was not warranted. One, Hope of U7 hasn't seen play in a long time. So if a deck can showcase it and play it well, let him play it. If you're afraid of Victory Strike, why not just address that Victory Strike, which they're never going to do because it's the premier it's like the Charizard of Dragon Ball. But, also at the same time, there were lots of other ways to address this deck. There are lots of cards that, we've had on the ban list before, like Scrambling Assault Son Goten's in the deck, right? Acting like that card's not a broken card. Acting like the Pan playing out 2 5-drops, right? There's lots of things that just don't make a whole lot of sense, right? And this is all before that. I'm not even sure it solves the deck in a lot of ways. I don't think that this hit slows the deck down really at all, or the Goku lineage leader. I think it's still possible. So we'll see, right? Like, we'll see its impact, but this just seems like this seems like a hit out of fear, like a very premature, very undeserved hit. And Green just suffered more for no reason, right? Like, Green was probably the second worst color overall right now. And blue being the worst just due to the sheer amount of silver bullets and a best of 3 you can bring in against it. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see if the Cell Surge or the Goku Lineage deck or Victory Strike can recover. There were only 3 cards I wanted to see on this ban list. The first one being the Demigod Unison. I wanted that card banned. The second cards I just want banned are Champa and East Supreme Kai. You know, here's the thing. Champa and East Supreme Kai are just getting to the point where it's now becoming a main deck staple, and every list that you see that has high and good aggression, and it's talked about stealing and winning games beyond, like, just beyond any other card in the game. Like, it just wins more than any other card has. So, like, I just really think that it's time we move beyond that card. When, we play cards down that our opponent can see and interact with. How many times in, for example, in SS3 and Harudagon format, did we see Mirror Creed or Absorb drop with like 100,000, 135,000 power, and then a double strike behind it? How many times do we see that now? Like, shotgun double strike Champa. Like, both of those cards just need to go. Like, I think that we're beyond needing to play strategies where, oh, well, I didn't win off of all the cards I played. Here, just let me tap this one energy real quick and assault you with every single thing I had because I struck you down. It's the same thing with, like, Splintering Mind. Splintering Mind is a terrible burn card that just shouldn't exist. Now, speaking of burn cards, let's talk about what people wanted on the ban list. Catastrophic Blow. Catastrophic Blow is probably a card that will never be hit, and I'll tell you why. One, it is a card that if you took it away in any capacity, Invoker dies. Smoker dies. Like a limit to 3, okay? 2 or less, the deck dies. And they don't want to just solo kill a deck, right? They want to nerf it. Like, Harudagarn has been good despite the fact that Flu has been banned. So this is one of those things where I really think that if you want to address Invoker, it's going to have to come from some different way. It's going to have to be some different form. Like, you're going to have to either address the Vegeta and force them to play, like, the 3-drop Invokers, like Frieza. You're going to have to address some other condition. And don't even talk about the Victory Strike card. Like, don't. Like, the card's fair. And it requires setup. It's easy to play around. You can still negate the attack. All these different things. So, I really think that everyone else really wanted something done to Dark Brawly. I just don't understand that whatsoever. Like, at all. Like, Dark Brawly, I mean, obviously I'm a Dark Brawly player and I really like the deck. I think that Dark Brawly is just a good, strong deck that the game kind of needs. Because it's one of those decks that if it's strong enough to win, but there's enough answers to it. So, I don't know. I just don't understand why it hasn't even been winning. It's been topping, it hasn't been winning. It's not the same thing. So, Dark Brawly might be one of those decks that kind of got solved. Rip to Brawlies, because they just seem to get solved everywhere. And the OG Brawley just got solved super hard. Just got straight banned. Can't believe they banned Roche Kamehameha. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think of the ban list down below. Let me know what you guys think about the cards that I've talked about. Oh, I guess actually, before I go, there is one card that we should have talked about. Should have been limited to either one or ban. Heartfelt Plea. Nah, Heartfelt Plea's fine. Anyway, that's all for this discussion video. I will see you guys next time. This is Alex from TCG Discussions, signing off.